All right, this next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions continuing our Monday Night Wars review series. This is going to be March 18th in 1996. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Let's get into it. This is the pretty much the go home show for WCW for Uncensored. We're going to find out what's really cooking for this uh, Doomsday Cage
Yeah,
match that now Hogan and Savage are gotten themselves in on. Pretty much, I don't know why Savage wants to sign his life away for this guy, but
right.
hey, what are you going to do? Of course, you had the usual commentators. I ain't getting into that because everybody knows who they are for right now. Vince and Lawler, obviously, for Raw. They're in Chattanooga, Tennessee for Nitro. They're in taping San Antonio, Texas for Monday Night Raw. So let's just get into it. Nitro pretty much starts with the Giant kicking the crap out of Loch Ness. And
Right.
why the hell? This is what bothers me. How I knew they're never going to have the match, but why would you book Lex Luger defending the
Right.
television title
Dungeon.
against Loch Ness?
Dungeon versus Dungeon. All these guys are members of the Dungeon. Yeah.
oh
I don't know. I have no idea, but this they had already teased this because it
yeah,
was
the lumberjack match.
in the lumberjack match those two went at it. I guess he must have said something about him being a giant. I think Loch
Yeah,
Ness had said probably on a WCW Saturday night or something like that. Um yeah, so this sets up their match and at Uncensored, right? They fought at I think they fought at Uncensored.
yeah, it wasn't exactly a five-star match at Uncensored.
Yeah,
About 2.5 minutes. What do you expect of these two big guys? And we've said
yeah.
before,
But
Loch Ness came here
the
already out of his prime.
you know what the sad thing is that the Giant just beat the hell out of Loch Ness in this little scuffle that they had before the
Oh
match.
yes, he
Just beat the
did.
hell out of him. It wasn't even like competitive.
No, the
So I mean, I
Loch
guess
Ness just took the beating.
yeah, and that was it. But anyway,
Of course,
Luger,
Lex Luger's just walking by
right. He's
laughing.
posing. He's got two belts.
Yeah,
And he wins, right? They like default. They gave him
he,
the
he Loch Ness didn't even get to the ring. The bell. Now
mm,
I don't understand how you could ring the bell when you don't have both competitors in the ring. But in
should have
this
been no
case, they did
contest.
exactly. They just counted out Loch Ness. Lex Luger jumping around like he won the world
Yeah.
title.
And then he's with
And
Jimmy, and he's like, "No, get away from
oh,
me!"
here we go again with
Right,
Jimmy
right, right,
celebrating,
yeah, yeah,
and Luger's like, "No, get out of here!" No,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
whatever. So, and then Lex Luger then goes to the announce table like they've always been doing the last few weeks. So Lex Luger is going to be part of the Doomsday Cage match at Uncensored against Hogan and Savage. Then following that, we'll just keep with Nitro here for a minute. Tony Schiavone, because Mean Gene Oakland was out with a bad case of the flu. Bischoff had mentioned during this. Tony Schiavone interviewed Hogan and Savage. And of course, that's when they officially said that Savage is now in the Doomsday Cage. It's not
right.
just
Yeah.
Hogan. Savage has signed his life away. I don't know why, but
Why
hey, that's
wasn't
your
Booty and why
business.
wasn't Booty Man part of that match too?
Exactly. It would have been a lot better if it was 3 against 8, but we
Yeah,
find
or
out later on that Booty Man has replaced Johnny B. Bad in a match
right.
against Diamond Dallas
Yeah,
Page.
he could have fought twice. Double duty.
That doesn't
He should
even
have
make
been in
any
there.
sense.
No, it doesn't. He should have been in there. You could have even got the Renegade because Hogan was supposedly friends with Renegade. It could have been four on whatever, and then the Giant should have been part of that Doomsday. How are you gonna like, if it's Dungeon and you don't have the biggest threat, which is the Giant? I don't know, but
And
anyway,
they just came off a match against each other at Super Brawl.
I don't know. I don't know.
But no, we'll go get a guy that Ultimate Solution and Z
Oh
Gangsta.
well, we don't
Oh,
know that
wait,
yet.
no, we don't
Spoiler.
know that yet.
Yeah.
Right. Who are these guys? I don't know. All right, let's go over to Monday Night Raw if I have to. Before the Raw went on the air, they showed what happened previously in the weekend in Madison Square Garden. The main event was The Undertaker and Bret the Hitman Hart versus Shawn Michaels and Big Daddy Cool Diesel. Besides the fact that Diesel and Taker beat the crap out of each other, Diesel hit Bret and Taker with the chair, and then out of nowhere from behind, he hit Shawn Michaels with the
Damn it.
chair.
Damn it. So now Diesel's
And
he's officially a heel.
he's officially done the
Yeah,
heel turn, my
because he was
man.
still friends with Shawn at this up until this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shawn was heard saying, "I'm going to kick his 7 foot
And of
ass."
course, we know where that goes later on.
Exactly. But the opening, they honestly, they could have just showed that match. It was a lot more interesting than what we got. The opening match of Monday Night Raw was Jake the Snake Roberts versus the British Bulldog. Now there's um, a challenge that Jake has set forth that we're going to find out later on during Monday Night Raw whether Jim Cornette accepts or not.
Hmm.
This match actually wasn't bad. It was a typical Jake match where he's constantly trying to get the DDT on you. Now, of course, he doesn't look like he's in that good a shape,
Not
but
really.
he's 4 years outdated from his prime. But the fans are still giving him a huge pop in the ring. The match with the British Bulldog really wasn't bad, although I just felt like Vince was just trying to rush this off the air. Now, during the match, Bulldog distracted the ref. Cornette hits Roberts with the tennis racket. That's nothing new. When Roberts finally hits the DDT on Bulldog and goes for the pin, again, Cornette gets involved. Jake then goes and gets the snake and chases Cornette down with it. Jake Roberts winds up getting counted out. But the minute he was counted out, it's like Vince went directly to something else. Like, okay, we're done with this. Let's go on to the
All right, we
next
gotta
one.
go.
And that was to show the training footage for Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
Right, yeah.
So it's like he didn't even give this match its due. It's like, okay, we got to count out. Let's go on to something else.
Got to build WrestleMania. But the training, it was cool when they showed him training with Jose Lothario. They told a little bit of the story. Then they showed Brett training in Calgary. It was cool. It was good stuff.
Brett kind of this is where he really officially showed kind of the first heelish comments that he made towards Shawn, which was he respects Shawn Michaels, but he doesn't respect him where he stands in contrast to himself. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't like the dancing. This isn't a dance-off.
Yeah. This is wrestling. He did a good job, though. Brett did a really good job selling it, though.
He did. Yeah. Because at this point, I remember even watching this live, and I'm like freaking really, dude. I mean,
they had to do something like that because you can't just have two baby faces and they all like each other and they're.
And unfortunately, Shawn wasn't saying anything derogatory at the time against Brett. Right. Not this time.
Right, but they would. But you could in hindsight you could see what they were trying to do. They were trying to replace Brett basically with Shawn and make Shawn like the goody, like this is our new. In hindsight, I didn't know it at the time. But yeah, but it worked.
There's no Shawn being no goody.
Right. In reality, that wasn't even close to the case. But
yeah, he said that as far as Shawn Michaels goes, he's irritating, obnoxious, and cocky. So are you. In a way, you constantly, I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. I'm going to beat everybody. Okay, that's not being cocky too. Yes, you back it up, but show to Shawn. So, I mean, you guys are both the same. As much as you're different, you're more similar than you are different. If that makes any sense, because they're both. Shawn Brett comes off as arrogant. He won't admit to it. So. But I still like the main event. I still like both of these guys back then. He says that the fans are better off looking up to Brett instead of Shawn. Opinion of one man, yes.
I mean, behind the scenes, they might.
Behind the scenes, they hated each other, supposedly. Right. So,
well, not at this point yet. Not at this point.
No,
but either way,
it was more towards going into '97.
Yeah. So.
But I thought it was a good. They did some good storytelling there. With the training, and then Brett, telling us now how he truly feels. We're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. Now, let's keep it on Raw for the next match. It was Fatu versus Goldust, non-title match. Man, who would have thought that the Rhodeses and the Anoa'i were even fighting back then?
Rikishi.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Fatu's not making much of a difference at this point. No. And they showed last week what happened between Piper and Goldust, how it's now been made official that they're Hollywood backlot brawl at WrestleMania. And during the match, they had Piper on the phone talking to both Vince and Lawler. And Goldust is wearing a kilt in the ring, mind you. But according to Piper, it's a skirt for him. It's a kilt for Piper. It's a skirt for him. Oh, by the way, Goldust hits a curtain call and beats Fatu.
There you go.
So... whether non-title title don't matter, Goldust has got the momentum going into WrestleMania. He's not going to have it for long. It wasn't even that. I mean, it wasn't even really that good of a match, to be honest. That's my opinion. I like Fatu, especially when he became Rikishi. But this match here, the fans the life was sucked out of them. That's during it. I don't know. Let's go back to Monday Nitro, where Nitro kind of picked up in the next two matches, and the next one being the Steiner Brothers versus Public Enemy. Now, this is where they're really solidifying the tag team division at this point. You got Sting and Luger atop of it. Now, besides Harlem Heat, now you got the Road Warriors, you got Public Enemy, you got the Nasty Boys. I mean, and you got did I miss anybody? Steiners, Road Warriors, Nasties. No, I called them all. I mean, this tag team division is just
Harlem Heat.
yeah, I mentioned them. Because remember, Booker T is going to be Sting's partner
Hmm.
at Uncensored. But yeah, you got Harlem Heat, Steiners, Road Warriors, Nasty Boys, Public Enemy. I mean, you got it stacked
Hmm.
right now for those tag titles. And the match with Public Enemy wasn't bad. Public Enemy gets
They do get
with
a
the
bad
exception
rap,
of
right?
being, yeah, they did in both companies, but in ECW, they're gods
Yeah.
because the fans get them for what they do there. But what they brought to WCW, fans weren't sure, they hadn't seen it. And in WWE, they just pissed everybody
Yeah,
off.
one of them, I forget which one, almost kills himself, almost breaks his neck on one of the spots in this match.
Rocco
I don't remember, but
was
I
it the one
remember, I
that
remember
went
hit
through
his
the
head.
table? Because I
Yeah, I
know
remember
Rocco
hitting
tried to
spike.
put Rick Steiner through the table.
No, this was inside the ring. He got spiked, but one of them got spiked. But either way,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
It was a close moment there, but Rocco, of course, him and Johnny Grunge bring the table to the ring. Tries to put Rick Steiner through it. Scott says, "No, you're not putting my brother through a table." Rocco winds up going through it. The Scott Steiner puts Johnny Grunge up on his shoulders. You got the top rope bulldog, and you got the Steiners getting the
we'll
victory
see.
here.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on to the next match on Monday Nitro. It was the Booty Man versus Arn Anderson. And this is where they announced that Booty Man would be replacing Johnny
yeah.
B. Bad in his match against Diamond Dallas Page. And again, this is where, like you said earlier, Booty Man should have been in the main
Yeah.
event in the cage.
I mean, I hate to
Putting
even
him in
say
the,
that. I hate to even say
I
that, but
know,
yeah, but it would have made
but
would have made
because they
sense.
brought him into this storyline
Kim
as
and
as the spy and
Kimberly's
everything,
like in love, and Kimberly's like in love with him now, and
I mean, it's just getting sidetracked that
but
you're putting him in this, and now he's got to go face DDP.
Arn Anderson on his undefeated streak of on Nitro, but not for
Well,
long.
Booty Man decided that that wasn't going to
Yeah.
happen. But even before that, Kimberly comes down and
Mhm.
Bischoff called it. And oh, by the way, let me just say this: I love the little spot that Bischoff did about announcing about Rodman's suspension
Oh yeah, yeah.
from the headbutt for the NBA.
Mhm.
And he's like, maybe he'll show up at
Mhm.
Uncensored. They also mentioned it on Raw. I'll get to that in a little bit. But Bischoff did call Kimberly coming down. He's like, I knew it. Here she comes, but this time, woman's not having it. Takes the shoe
No.
off,
Yep.
that deadly shoe, and goes to get up in her face. Booty Man's trying to break it up. Arn Anderson attacks him out there. As Arn Anderson's coming back in the ring, Booty Man gives him a knee to the head and pins him. And there goes Arn Anderson's streak. Booty
There
Man
you
gets
go.
the victory, a surprising victory over Arn Anderson.
Damn it.
I know. So, what are you gonna do? Okay, let's go back to Monday Night Raw because I can't stay on Nitro forever. Unfortunately, I'd love to. Um, the next match on the card was, in fact, no, actually, even before that. Let me jump into. They showed another Ultimate Warrior vignette. They said, they're getting him prime and ready for WrestleMania. It was a short one this time.
Took another shot at Macho Man.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that one. I saw it. He's like, he ended the career of the Macho Man. I don't think he did,
He
but
did come
okay.
back after that, but all right, it's fine.
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. Plus, not only that, he wrestled the next day against the model Rick
Yeah,
Martel.
but I mean, nobody really knew that, but
No, unless you watch the Coliseum video where he came out with Elizabeth and the fans cheered him.
No.
And they were like, now his career is over. But it's not really over because he came back and he got reinstated eventually. So whatever. Plus, they showed last week what happened during the main event, which the Undertaker and Yokozuna versus Owen and Bulldog. Diesel coming out attacking Paul Bearer and the ring pretty much filling up. Now, Jake the Snake Roberts on Superstars issued the 6-man challenge at WrestleMania. Now, right now, it's Vader versus Yokozuna. Jake has proposed that it be Jake the Snake Roberts, Ahmed Johnson, and Yokozuna versus Owen, Bulldog, and Vader.
I would have much rather see Vader and Yoko, but I guess Yoko, the condition that he was in, he really couldn't. I'm just assuming because I don't really remember, but
I think you're probably
right
about that.
Him. Yeah, he wasn't in physical shape to go like a full.
There's no way you're going to do a one-on-one match because most of his matches now, if you notice, are tag team.
Yeah. So
unless you look at the free for all match at SummerSlam and he loses in 1 minute to
Oh,
Steve
Jesus
Austin.
Christ.
But yeah, there's no way at his weight right
Mhm.
now that he's going to be able to do this on his own. Would have been great to see him and Vader one-on-one and then do Jake
Prime
and Ahmed
Yoko.
versus Owen and
Yeah,
Bulldog.
Prime Yoko, yeah.
But unfortunately, we weren't going to see it. Vince interviewed Cornette and the group. Cornette accepted the challenge. So I mean, now they've changed the match altogether for
Right. Then later on we find out about the stipulation.
the pre-recorded comments that there's a stipulation. Always read the fine print in the contract. Roberts had said that if the team wins, Yoko gets Cornette for 5 minutes. I always love this whole thing where you get some guy for 5 whole minutes.
Does that make any sense?
He's
not a wrestler.
No. And how many times we've seen this in WCW, especially during War Games? But Yoko will get Cornette in the ring for 5 minutes. And I love Cornette saying, "You needed me because everything you were saying was stupid that was coming out of your mouth." And then he mentioned about how Fuji wouldn't be around because he falls down a flight of stairs and he goes, "I didn't see what happened. I was right behind him." I thought that was funny. Yeah. But I didn't even factor in Fuji during all this as being a fan favorite manager now, because ever since Yoko turned, we haven't seen Fuji.
Right? No.
But apparently, we were going to. So, our next match on the card for Monday Nitro is Barry Horowitz versus Big Daddy Cool Diesel. Wow, strap in on this one. I don't know who's going to win. And once again, they showed before that match. They showed the whole Madison Square Garden thing of what Diesel did, and then once again they showed Diesel attacking Paul Bearer during the main event week prior. During the match, however, the interesting part of it, because the match itself was not interesting, was Paul Bearer coming down with the casket. This was great.
Yeah, this was good stuff. Yeah.
Now
the mind games.
Yes, Diesel hits the big boot on Horowitz. He kicks out. Diesel kind of looked at him, and I'm kind of thinking, bro, you messed up. Diesel just hits him once and then gets the pin. So I really think something went wrong there. I can't see Horowitz kicking out of that big boot. I'm sorry.
It wasn't like it was a jackknife. I think that they probably did that just because it was kind of funny.
It was when he looked at him and just
popped
him.
Looked at him. Yeah, I think it was intentional. Yeah.
Now after the match is where it gets real interesting, because he goes over to the casket. He knows that the Undertaker is going to be in it. It even popped open a little bit, but when he opened it and removed the plastic, this was insane. He saw a likeness of himself.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, this was even eerie for me back then. And this totally changed the complexion on Diesel's face at this point. Taker's gotten into his head. So that was really cool. Let's head on back over to Monday Nitro, where our next match on the card is the Road Warriors against the Nasty Boys. And this was pretty much a street fight.
Yeah, pretty much
the street fight rules
from the jump.
Because the Nasty Boys ran to the ring, and the first thing that popped in my head watching this match was SummerSlam 1991, where the Legion of Doom beat the Nasty Boys for the tag team titles.
Right. Well, they had a gripe though, right? Because they got taken out. They got taken out of the match.
Yeah, because they were supposed to face the Road Warriors and then all of a sudden the Steiner brothers show up, and we don't know who attacked them. We don't know who attacked them. Yeah, Nasty Boys aren't talking. No. They're all bandaged up. They're facing the Road Warriors like it was them.
This was good though, man.
It really was.
It was fun.
I really enjoyed the tag team division at this point on Nitro because. And when forget, you also got the Blue Bloods, American Males, and a few other tag teams. I mean, but these teams right here are just duking it out, beating the holy hell out of each other. And again, this was like a borderline street fight that the referee's just letting everything go. And, the Animal using a chair and the referee's not doing anything. He's just letting them go, letting them fight it out. Like, just do what you got to do. Yeah. Now, during the match, the Steiner brothers came down and attacked Jerry Sags. This left Knobs in the ring by himself. Animal, once again, for the second straight year, uses part of his entrance attire, hits Brian Knobs with it, and the Road Warriors get the pin. So now, really, the Road Warriors are coming off heelish here.
A little bit, yeah.
Second week in a row. But the Road Warriors get the victory over the Nasty Boys here. So again, the Road Warriors definitely got their momentum going into Uncensored, where they'll face Sting and Booker T. So do we jump? No, let's keep the main event for Nitro for last. Let's go over to Monday Night Raw and do their main event now, which was Bret the Hitman Hart versus Tatanka. And before that, they show in the locker room DiBiase with the 1-2-3 Kid and Tatanka.
I don't know what the point of that. What's the point?
I don't know. The $1 Million Corporation's got one foot in the
They're
grave.
like, yeah, get out of here.
Point.
Yeah, the camera's on. Ah, get out of here.
Yeah, it's pretty much like done at this point.
Tatanka fighting the champion though. Good for Tatanka.
Exactly. I liked Tatanka back then. I thought turning him heel ruined him.
It's a mistake.
It was.
Some guys there are some guys that cannot be heels, and vice versa. There's just something.
I mean, he tried. Nothing against him. He tried.
He tried, but he was a great baby face, and then once they turned him heel, it was.
Not even that. I'll do you one better. Once they build up his undefeated streak.
Oh yeah, Ludwig Borga, yeah.
And they just crapped on it.
Yeah.
Because remember, and then they beating Shawn Michaels 3 times, finally to earn an IC title match at WrestleMania, and then he doesn't get it there. I mean, blown opportunities for Tatanka over the four plus years he was there, but turning him heel was just like it was suicide. It was a suicide move. It was like when Rikishi turned, because when he came babyface again, nobody gave a shit.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, and Rikishi had a lot of momentum in 2000. So during the Bret Hart match, Lawler made a comment about Rodman. He joked about with the headbutt that when Bret headbutted Tatanka, Vince said, and I quote, "It's legal here in the WWE." Okay. I like Bischoff's news better than you just making fun of it. But anyway, now during the match, the 1-2-3 Kid comes down. Why? I have no idea. There's no feud here. There's just. I think these are the last 2 guys that stuck around in the corporation, pretty much. I mean, Khan is still there, and Sid is Sid. Yeah, this is the remnants. This is what's left.
Yeah.
Austin. It would have even been funny if they had involved Austin in this rather than the 1-2-3 Kid. Because 1-2-3 Kid's pretty much got one foot out the door at this point.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. But, of course, now Bret goes for the sharpshooter. DiBiase distracts the referee. 1-2-3 Kid, up on the ring apron. He's holding Bret. You know where this is going. Tatanka clotheslines the Kid. Mm-hmm. Bret rolls up Tatanka. Not even another sharpshooter. Just rolls him up and gets the victory.
There you go.
Because Bret's not losing. Not going into WrestleMania. No siree. So Bret beats Tatanka. Is there dissension in the corporation? Who cares? Yeah. Like I said, it's got one foot in the grave at this point. It was. And then they close out Monday Night Raw, and I really don't understand this. I like the segment, but I don't think it should have closed it out. The whole federal Turner Commission hearings where they turned it into
with the merger, with the merger, and
you want me to own everything. Yeah. You need me to own everything. I like the whole Few Good Men scene. It was funny, but
that was okay.
I don't think you don't close Monday Night Raw out 2 weeks prior to WrestleMania with this.
No, I agree.
So that kind of bothered me. If you left it on a high note with Bret winning, maybe Shawn comes out again doing another applause, some mind games in the apron. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That would have been better than fake Ted Turner. Okay, let's go over to Monday Nitro's main event. It's another special stipulation match, like
Tornado,
Texas Tornado tag match. Okay, Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Taskmaster and World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. This was just another way of Hogan to no-sell anything they put on him so he could beat the hell out of Flair, beat the hell out of Sullivan. What I did love was the Savage is in the figure 4. Rather than Hogan help him, he puts his own rendition on Sullivan. And then, did you notice Randy Anderson was getting thrown around like a rag doll?
Yeah, this was a cluster.
It was. I mean, Randy Anderson, I don't know if he got tripped up or whatever, but then Flair pushes him. He pushes Flair back. What are we doing here?
This was just a mess.
It kind of was. And then, of course, the whole what was I going to say?
Pillman?
Pillman. Yeah, Flair hit, before him. Okay. Flair hits, Hogan with the shoe. And then Hogan, Flair hits Hogan with the shoe. And then Flair hits Hogan with the shoe. And then Hogan hits Flair with the shoe. And then Flair hits Hogan 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 with the shoe. And then
Yeah.
Again, and then of course Hogan gets right up, hulking up from that. Like you really got to hulk up from a shoe, really? Leg drop, and Hogan and Savage win. The best part was after the match. Yeah, Psycho.
Brian Pillman.
Here comes Captain Schizo.
Yeah.
We call Savage that, but here's your younger brother. Here comes Psycho Pillman out there.
Yeah, Pillman's out. He's out there. And Hogan's trying to get a hold of him, and Pillman.
Yes, he is.
Again, Pillman's just pulling himself away. The behind the scenes is that Pillman was supposed to be part of that uncensored match, but Hogan basically wanted to destroy him. So Pillman says
this is the best Pillman looked in WCW.
Yeah. So Pillman says nope, and he goes and he has throat surgery. In the midst of all of this, not to get too sidetracked, but it's worth mentioning, Pillman got Bischoff to release him. They were going to do some sort of like a worked angle where he releases him, and because he goes over to ECW for a brief time here. But then he ends up getting in the car accident. He never re-signs with WWE. The plan was for him to come back to WCW, and he goes and signs that big contract with WWF. But
he goes to Vegas and he sees Vince, and he just starts talking to him, and Vince is like, "Do I know you?" And he convinces him to sign him, and then the ankle surgery, happened, and all that. Yeah,
but this was cool though. With Pillman's out there fighting it. It's a whole mess, and then. What ends up happening with
you get now? They don't mention their names,
right?
But it was Z Gangsta, Zeus.
It's Zeus, Z Gangsta,
and the Ultimate Solution.
Yeah.
Pretty much, that's a guy that looked like he ate too many potato chips, and a guy that was never in his prime when his prime hit.
And then Hogan and Macho Man, they get the hell out of the ring though. It's like
they were scared.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, so now that's when the Flair cuts the promo, and
I love that.
Sullivan,
Savage Hogan, where you at?
they cut the promos, and now what the match is going to be. Like it's going to be those guys. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, why doesn't Savage get the hell away from Hogan? Get the hell away from this guy.
Like, bro, this is your problem.
Right, you deal with it.
This group is called the Alliance to End Hulkamania.
And
Macho Madness is not in there.
He's like collateral damage. Hogan has never done anything for him, other than have lust in his eyes for Elizabeth. He hasn't done a damn thing for him.
No Booty Man.
Right. What was Flair's
line? Booty.
Well, he did.
Booty was there, but he backed up too.
Right.
I don't even know why.
And he's not even in the match.
There.
And he's not even in the match. But what did Flair? Oh man, Flair said something good. It was a line about Elizabeth or something. I forget what it was, but it was
Flair was running his mouth the minute these guys showed up and Hogan ran, tucked his tail and ran.
He ran like a coward. He got the hell out of there.
Flair is like, "What you got?"
I think Macho Man was ready to go. I think Macho Man was ready to go because he doesn't care. But Hogan was like,
Macho was about to look at him and go, "I'm out. Right. You got this."
But it was entertaining. It's silly. It's very, very over the top. But it was entertaining.
Yeah. So hopefully, some of this dies down after Uncensored. Not likely. But, and the fact of the whole 2 versus 8, and we said this on the Uncensored review, the fact that you won on a 2 versus
Mega
8.
Powers, yeah. I don't know. Either way.
Zeus, and like I said, Zeus or Z Gangsta is 10 years past the prime he never had. And then, Ultimate Solution for what? He's one and done. You brought in these guys. You're not even using what you have in the dungeon. The Giant's not in there. That makes no sense.
Yeah, either way.
And like you said, Savage is putting his neck on the line for a guy that wouldn't do it for him. And Booty Man is just there to be on camera.
Let's go to the scorecards.
Okay, the rating for this night was a blowout. Nitro scored a 3.6 to Raw's 2.9.
Wow.
So for the actual, at this point, it's Nitro 14, Raw 9, and 2 no decision and or tie. So, who are you picking?
All right. I'm only going to go with Nitro. Only going to go with it because I really like those tag team matches. Those 2 tag team matches.
Then we're both on the same page at this point. That's exactly why I did it.
Yeah, it was the tag team matches. Raw had some good stuff with the mind games with Undertaker and Diesel. I did enjoy the segments of what they were talking about, Shawn and Brett. Very short though. They were just talking about the training. Brett versus Tatanka match, I thought it was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but those 2 tag team matches, because the end is a mess. It's entertaining, but it's silly.
It's the same thing
But
every week. Hogan and
right, it's
Savage
the same
versus
thing.
Flair and somebody,
It's the
either
same thing.
Anderson or Sullivan.
But for me, those two tag team matches, that's what put it over the top for me.
Yes, Steiner's Public Enemy and Road Warriors,
Yeah,
Nasty Boys,
fun.
definitely. Like I said before, Raw should not have ended with this
No.
ridiculous Turner thing. End it with some more mind games with Shawn Michaels coming out. Round of applause. Yeah, you got the win against Tatanka. Good job for you. Brett facing Tatanka. I'm not burying Tatanka yet, even though WWE pretty much has. You look back at these matches, and Tatanka gave Bret Hart a good match. You know, it wasn't terrible. The whole 1-2-3 kid thing, to me, coming out didn't make any sense. Goldust versus Fatu was weak. Diesel fighting Horowitz. Why are you even bothering? You might as well just go get yourself a job. Or, oh wait, never mind, you did, but you signed him to a contract. To me, that was a little weak. Now, if you're trying to protect these guys so that they don't get hurt before WrestleMania, that I understand. But at the same time, the match that Diesel had and Goldust had was complete garbage. So, but yeah, I'm going with Nitro as well. So we're both it's 18-7.
18-7. So the score is even now.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it evened up last week when
Okay.
you shocked the world
shocked,
with Monday
yeah,
Night Raw.
Yeah.
But I got news for you. In the next couple of weeks, Raw's going to be on a winning streak. So,
All right.
After WrestleMania, it picks up for them a little bit.
All right.
But we still got a long way to go.
All right. Well, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.